People worry a lot about this today are those people I call them uh, called college smartness. People like us, street smart, we never scared of that. We think it's a great fun and we want to change ourselves to embrace it.
I don't know, man. That's like famous last words.
Only, the 0.00% of the prediction are right. They're right because by accident.
Yeah, but it's also true that 80% of statistics are false.
Oh, he tried it.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering. I continue to furiously refresh Elon, Barry Weiss, and Matt Taibbi Twitter feeds to find out if we're going to get any Twitter Files Part 2. Make sure that you click that red subscribe button down below so you get notified when I go live. The second they do, I will live stream them. Of course, we had a blast doing that this weekend with about 30,000 people. So I hope that we can do that again. But I wanted to point out two absolutely savage replies by Elon Musk talking about not just liberal media in general, but also specifically the New York Times. It seems like he is certainly using his power at Twitter, his newfound extra attention, to grind some axes. And I 100% understand and support that. And that said, some people don't like that, and that's fine. They can be wrong. Just a reminder, as the Twitter files continue, coffeebrandcoffee.com, it's my company. Nearly 20 different flavors of coffee, flavored and unflavored. We have decaf, cold brew bags, K-cups. We have a dozen organic teas. We have 4 flavor cocos. We have dark chocolate covered espresso beans. We have accessories, grinders. We even have a gift box builder and pre-built holiday gift boxes. 10% off using promo code TwitterFiles, one word. Need a last minute Christmas gift? These gift boxes come wrapped in a fancy box, and all you have to do is stick a bow on them. You're good to go. And you'll be supporting the channel. Elon Musk slams liberal media for deceiving the American public and not being truthful by ignoring the president's son's computer story as they set about smearing Matt Taibbi for his Twitter Files expose. Now, we talked about in an earlier video today the way the mainstream media moved in ridiculous unison to ensure that they smear Matt Taibbi by calling him a hack, by saying he was running interference for, quote, the world's richest man. Journalists who are supposed to be doing actual research and having independent thought were all using the exact same words. And it was hilarious to see play out in real time. We saw Mediarite report on that, and here we go. But what's interesting to me is the New York Times themselves, as well as media, Musk's response came the same day. Oh, you see here, I'm sorry. Twitter took extraordinary steps. We saw this. When asked about the backlash by podcaster Clayton Morris during a Twitter Spaces call on Saturday, Musk said that he thought journalists disparaging Matt Taibbi should do some self-reflection. Quote, the question was, are you surprised by all the blowback against Matt Taibbi over the last 24 hours, Morris asked. Quote, a number of liberal news organizations, a lot of liberal news reporters came out and really slammed Matt Taibbi, which was really shocking, he noted. What was your response to that? Elon responds, well, I think some of those people should be looking in a mirror and wondering why they were deceptive in the first place. Why did they deceive the American people, he replied. And instead of trying to redirect blame to Matt Taibbi, accepting some responsibility themselves to not being truthful to the American public. I mean, he's 100% right. It's like many of them outright lied, knowingly or not so knowingly, I suppose. But even more of them, I think, I would argue, had plenty of times that they omitted things. How many of these blue check marks that keep saying the Twitter file story is no big deal, how many of them are going to show up in these emails where reporters are demanding tweets get pulled down? How many more of these are we going to find where the mainstream establishment, we saw the DNC in like specifically the Democratic National Committee email James Woods' account and asked Twitter to look at it, and they suspended him. This also a second article. Elon Musk slams the New York Times for ignoring his expose about how Twitter censored the laptop as woke outlets, including the Washington Post, CBS News, and ABC, all avoid the story. There was a tweet this morning I shared, and I want to give that person, the original person, credit, because over the weekend, if I'm remembering exactly right, the mainstream media covered the Twitter files for 7 seconds. Now, I don't know if Tara Servatius actually did this infographic, but you never really know. But they did show when they're not lying about the news, they're blacking it out. Twitter files on Sunday news shows. 7 seconds. 7 seconds. And the massive amount of cope from the left-wing establishment media, Variety, The Verge. There were several articles, if I remember correctly, and maybe those may not be the specific ones, but there was about a handful of articles from people that were like, oh, that Twitter files, that was a nothing burger. That was a nothing burger. Big deal. The government's infringing on its citizens' First Amendment rights. What's the big deal? By the way, if you're not subscribed yet and you're watching this video, you just came across the channel, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it if you click that red subscribe button down below. If you're on YouTube or if you're in Rumble, Odyssey, or BitChute, please subscribe there. The more people that subscribe, like literally, the more YouTube shows my videos to new people. And we're in a nice little run here, heading to the end of the year, meeting a lot of new people. If you don't know, I read my comment section. I check the comments several times on every video. If you've been on one of my live streams, I try to interact with all of you. I have a mailing list at thequartering.com. I'm on locals, thequartering.locals.com. But I would ask, but if you can subscribe, please do. Elon Musk went after the New York Times on Saturday for not covering his expose of how Twitter executives were urged by Joe Biden's staff to delete tweets relating to damaging information. Other left-wing outlets, including CBS News, ABC, and the Washington Post, are also yet to cover the Twitter files, despite their contents causing a sensation among American conservatives and free speech advocates. What's shocking to me, this is why, look at any one of either my first Twitter, actually the summary video, even from today, the Twitter file summary first one, it is share them. It is shocking how many normies are going to know nothing about this. All CNN has to do is not cover it, and 30 or maybe even 40 people will not see the story. But now if you combine in Washington Post, MSNBC, and CNN, whatever, there might be hundreds of people that don't get to see this story. I kid. Sadly, lots of people watch those news networks still. Those entertainment networks still. And it's shocking. How do you at least not cover it? You at least cover it and say you didn't think there was anything that big of a deal in there. By not covering it, aren't you admitting that it is a pretty big story? I mean, they cover if Trump rips a toot, how many Diet Cokes he drinks a day, how many scoops of ice cream he has, how many all this stuff. He's not even the president anymore. But they won't cover this, where we have literal government officials infringing on United States citizens' First Amendment rights? You think that's not a story? Other left-wing also, in response to alleged lack of coverage from the Times, Musk described the newspaper as, quote, an unregistered lobbying firm of far-left politicians. 100% true, in my opinion. The comment came in response to a tweet from conservative radio host Clay Travis, who said, There is not one single article about Elon Musk or the Twitter email release last night on the New York Times this morning. Musk responded, "That's because the New York Times has become, for all intents and purposes, an unregistered lobbying firm for far-left politicians." Yeah. But that's why the power of like independent journalism is growing. There's no mistake that this channel grew by like 100,000 subscribers in November, because people are more and more and more turning away from CNN because they're keeping people in the dark. Of course, on Friday, Musk promoted the Twitter thread by journalist Matt Taibbi, which we talked about. But how much more will his personal crusade against journalism expose? And how much more good will it do? Because it will do good. Because these things need to be revealed. I need to know if the FBI or any other government agencies were asking people to remove my tweets. I feel like that should be all right, at least through some sort of Freedom of Information Act. If they were using Twitter to squash political opponents, I think that's kind of maybe a big deal. Maybe, baby. Maybe it's kind of a big deal. Make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe. There's going to be so much more. Obviously, if we get a new Twitter Files drop tonight, I'll go live. So make sure you're subscribed and you have notifications on so you get notified, so you don't have to keep spending your night endlessly refreshing like I do. Now let's get into some Christmas stuff. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Ding, 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 ding. Sonic. I don't know what song that was. Sonic the Hedgehog. And it is a Monday, which means we get to open two. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Is this dumb? Is this dumb? I just thought it would be a fun little thing to do at the end of videos. You know, I don't know. Is this dumb? What about something Christmas that wouldn't be dumb? Oh, nice. The little spikies. Some of them won't be as cool as others. And then for the 5th, looks like we got a full-size... Oh, hey! Oh, no. What's all over her? Looks like Sonic had some fun in here before I got to me. Come on. Now, internet autists will have to help me out with the names of more obscure Sonic characters. If I ever get it out of the box. Most... Oh, there's... Why would you put that on the bottom? Okay. So we had... just the other day, we had opened this little guy. Now we have her. And there's a little... I don't know if you're going to see it, but there is a yellow crusty substance on her shirt. I don't want to say what I think that looks like, but hopefully that'll wash off because that looks gross. Hope you enjoyed this video. Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you again real soon.